Jim Dunn, the documentary filmmaker, titled this film The Connection and turned over all the footage to me before he left. I worked with him as cameraman, and we shot the whole thing in a drug addict's apartment early one evening last fall. The responsibility of putting together this material is fully mine. I did it as honestly as I could. This is J.J. Burden, New York City.
Well, go, man.
Hungry. This is my pad. Why shouldn't I eat, huh? These creeps never eat. Don't they know it's nutritious? Come on, Ernie, move over. Wait. Ah! My boy! Jerk. Dream world, huh? Narcotics. Look here. I live comfortable. I'm no junkie bum. Just look at my pad, it's clean. Yeah, it's clean except for these creeps that come here and call themselves my friends. My friends, wow. Like they come here with a little money, see? And then they expect me to use my hard-earned connections to furnish them with heroin, see? And then when I take just a little for myself, they cry and they scream, the bastards. Come on, man. They just wait here making me nervous. Sleeping. Like that's all they do is sleep.
Leach, will you please just say who you are?
All right, man. Me? I'm Leach. Jackie and Larry, man. What do you say, baby?
Cowboy?
No, man, he's not here.
Hey, we get started, Jay?
What do you think, baby, huh?
Hey, Jackie. Hey. What's up, Larry? Ready?
All right. This is Mike.
Cowboy back yet?
Oh, come on, man. Ready? Turn around. And over here is Sam. Oh, come on, man. Wake up. Come on.
Man,
You're in the movies, baby.
Don't fire until you see the whites of their eyes.
seated on the stage are engaged in a meditation, the purpose of which is to lead to the levitation of the person seated in the center.
Che vedete seduta sul palcoscenico è occupata in una meditazione mirante a ottenere la levitazione della persona seduta nel centro.
Les personnes qui vous voyez assises sur la scène sont engagées dans une méditation qui a pour but la lévitation de la personne qui est assise au centre.
Die Menschen, welche Sie auf der Bühne sitzen sehen, sind versunken in einer Meditation, deren Absicht es ist, jenen Menschen, der in der Mitte sitzt, zu einer Levitation zu bringen.
Meine Damen und Herren, in der Reihe Theater heute zeigen wir Ihnen eine Aufführung des Living Theater aus der Akademie der Künste zu Berlin. Das Living Theater ist eine amerikanische Truppe, vor etwa 1,5 Jahrzehnten in New York von Judith Malina und Julian Beck gegründet. Seit etwa einem Jahr ist die Truppe in Europa, weil sie in New York große Schwierigkeiten mit der Steuerbehörde, aber im Grunde wegen ihres radikalen Pazifismus, ihrer absoluten Ablehnung jeder Gewalt hatte. Die Aufführung heute Abend exekutiert, führt Ihnen kein Drama vor, keinen literarischen Text. Sie ist vielmehr in der Zusammenarbeit der Truppe entstanden. Sie ist eine Theaterdemonstration, die sich einiger literarischer Texte nur als Zitate bedient. Theaterdemonstration. Wofür, wogegen wird demonstriert? Gegen Gewalt, Unterdrückung, Terror, Mord, für Freiheit, Selbstbestimmung, Liebe. Sie sehen, es handelt sich hier nicht um ein normales Theater, das Kunst produzieren will. Das Living Theater will mittels Demonstration eingreifen, die Menschen verwandeln. Es knüpft an die Theorien des französischen Theatermannes Artaud und dessen Theater der Grausamkeit. Grausamkeiten werden vorgeführt, um zu erschrecken, um umzuwandeln. Ich sage Ihnen einiges über den
procedure for levitation will begin with a 3-minute repetition of a yogic healing breath. By the end of this 3-minute period, the person seated in the center will levitate.
Ah, com'è terribile sapere. Quando il sapere non serve proprio a nulla, chissà. E io sapevo, ma ho preferito dimenticare, perché altrimenti non mi sarei lasciato condurre qui.
Che succede? Cos'è questo tuo spavento?
Lasciami tornare a casa, Edipo. Te ne prego, dammi ascolto. Così sarà minore il peso per tutti e due.
No! Parlare è tuo dovere verso la città.
Le tue parole non sono utili neanche a te.
Rimani in nome di Dio, tu sai. Te ne preghiamo tutti, i miei cittadini e io.
Voi non siete che dei pazzi. Ma io non parlerò, non li voglio svelare, i tuoi mali.
Tu sai e taci. Vuoi tradirci, vuoi perdere la città, ma sei fatto di sasso.
Tu mi rinfacci e mi rimproveri la mia natura. E non vuoi conoscere la natura che è in te.
Chi non si adirerebbe ascoltando parole che suonano offesa al re e alla città?
Ah, i fatti parleranno, anche se io non dirò niente.
Ma è proprio per questo che tu devi parlare.
Io ho parlato anche troppo. E tu arrabbiati pure quanto vuoi.
Ah sì? Ebbene allora sappi quello che mi viene in mente. Io penso che il delitto l'hai ordito tu. E se tu non fossi cieco, direi che l'hai compiuto tu stesso, con le tue mani.
Ah, è questo che tu pensi. Allora io dico, obbedisci al bando che tu stesso hai promulgato e guardati da questo momento stesso di stare qui in mezzo a noi, perché sei tu il colpevole che contamina la nostra terra. E se non hai ben capito, te lo ripeto, tu sei l'assassino che stai cercando. E non sai di avere un rapporto infame con le persone che ti sono più care. E non vuoi vedere il male che è in te.
E credi che io ti lasci uscire illeso da queste tue parole?
Io sono già in salvo, perché ho dalla parte mia la verità.
La verità per ogni altro, ma non per te, che hai ciechi gli occhi, le orecchie e anche la mente.
Oh, infelice, tu mi insulti, come tutti fra non molto insulteranno te.
Dì, a chi le debbo tutte queste tue belle invenzioni? A te o a Creonte? Ricchezza, potenza, grandezza, quante invidie suscitate in questa vita umana che è una sola lotta. È così, per colpa del potere che io ebbi in dono sulla città. Potere che io non ho chiesto. Anche il fedele Creonte, il buon amico dei primi tempi, ora mi vuole rovesciare. Creonte, sì, certo, e prendere il mio posto. Mandando avanti questo vecchio mago. Questo mendicante che sa vedere solo quando si tratta di guadagnare ed è sempre cieco nella sua arte.
Anche se tu sei il re, io posso risponderti con la stessa tua franchezza, se lo voglio. Che io non dipendo da te, ma da Dio. E poiché hai voluto davanti a tutti, al cospetto di Dio, schernire la mia cecità e la mia vecchiaia, ecco ciò che ti dico. Tu guardi e non vedi tutta la vergogna e il male in cui ti trovi. Sai chi ti ha dato la vita, sai che i tuoi morti e viventi ti maledicono, e un giorno vedrai solo oscurità, e quanto griderai allora, il giorno in cui finalmente capirai come e con chi ti sei sposato, figlio della fortuna.
Oh! E dovrò sopportare che mi si parli in questo modo? Io? Ma quando te ne andrai? Che cosa aspetti ad andartene? Va via! Via, vattene! Non voglio più vederti! Non voglio più sentirti!
Se mi trovo qui è perché tu mi hai chiamato!
Non l'avrei mai fatto! Mai! Se avessi supposto di ascoltare tante follie!
Questa, ecco, è la nostra sorte. Siamo folli per te, saggi per chi invece ti ha messo al mondo.
Cosa hai detto? Chi mi ha messo al mondo?
Andiamo. Guidami, ragazzo.
Sì, vattene. Sparisci da qui e con te sparirà anche il mio tormento.
Me ne andrò, ma solo quando avrò proprio finito di dirti tutto quello che ti devo dire. Ascolta. Ascolta. Quell'uomo che tu stai ricercando, con minacce e ordinanze, è qui straniero come tutti credono, mentre invece egli è di Tebe, ma non si rallegrerà di questa scoperta, perché divenuto cieco e mendico, se ne andrà in altri paesi di nuovo straniero, come me, misero suonatore di flauto. Si saprà che egli è nel tempo stesso fratello e padre dei suoi figli, che egli è figlio e marito di sua madre, che egli si è dunque unito con la stessa donna che è stata di suo padre.
Vieni da fare, l'ho già avuto 2 volte.
Cos'è questo?
In cinese.
E questo?
In cinese.
Ho sognato uno così che mi portava un telegramma. Io non avevo il coraggio di aprirlo, poi l'ho aperto, ma tanto non c'era scritto niente.
Perfetto. I want to be alone. Voglio stare solo.
E tutta quella gente che aspetta fuori.
Vi farò entrare. Vi farò entrare tutti. But now I want to be alone.
Sente l'attenzione che c'è nei tuoi capelli. Rilassati. Diceva poi questa similitudine. Un uomo aveva un fico piantato nella sua vigna. Andò a cercarvi i frutti, ma non ne trovò.
Ce que je veux dire, c'est que moi je crois qu'il y a, c'est très clair maintenant, qu'il y a dans le monde une force qui veut mettre dans l'obscurité les ouvriers. Et c'est contre ça que j'espère maintenant que nous commençons de lutter. Parce qu'on dit quand l'homme dans la rue commence à savoir qu'il n'est pas du tout stupide, comme la propagande en général lui dit, beaucoup de choses vont changer. Et c'est pour ça que nous travaillons. Et c'est ainsi que nous espérons de faire savoir la possibilité d'une société que nous appelons anarchiste, non violente, et ce que ça veut dire.
pense que le temps est venu pour nous de commencer enfin à refuser de servir ceux qui veulent que la connaissance et le pouvoir de l'art appartiennent seulement à qui peut payer. Ceux-là même qui souhaitent maintenir le peuple dans l'obscurité, qui travaillent pour que le pouvoir reste aux élites, qui souhaitent contrôler la vie de l'artiste et celle des autres gens.
Reste à faire par l'homme. Théâtre libre, théâtre de liberté, de choix spontané et d'action.
Something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there telling me I got to beware. I think it's time we stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
The people who make up the society are, according now, it comes in two terms. It's us and them. What we're after is to make it we. There's been a lot of great solos, you know, in history. There's been Christ, Buddha, Ramakrishna, a lot of great solos, and it's never been enough, and we're trying to get an orchestra together.
Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
Well, we can't make the alienation anymore because we're going to die soon if it doesn't stop.
That's what I'm talking about.
People say, what's that? What's that here? What is that? That's you. That's not me, that's you. So what do you mean? So what do you mean, what do you mean? I'm here, you're here. What are we going to do about it?
You know that in the last 70 years, 100 million people have been killed by other people, which is more than all of the people who lived and died before 1900.
Young people speaking their minds are getting so much resistance from behind. It's time we stop.
I don't know if we can ask the caterpillar what he's going to be. He just knows that he must behave in this way and that he must not be stopped. Worry is unknown to him. And we ask him the question, and he says, I don't know, I'm just spinning silk.
1,000 people in the street, singing songs and carrying signs, mostly saying hooray for our side. It's time we stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
We in the theater work a lot on the physical, that getting our bodies together, and we get our bodies together, our mind gets together. Because 90% of the world's body is crippled. They don't know it. When you work out with a crippled body, your mind is it's alienated, separated. And as long as there is the separation in ourselves, we can never deal with the reality. Never.
I think he's a faggot. If he's not a faggot, boy, he's really weird.
Something happening here.
I think that we've been able to travel
from country to country and, as it were, bring news, but bring an atmosphere with us, bring with us what we've learned, put what we've learned into our work, and form a kind of connecting link of groups of young people from whom we learn things and to whom we give things, on whom we have an influence and who have an influence on us.
We talk of a revolution against a violent civilization, and we talk very seriously of a non-violent revolution. I think that anything can contribute to the revolution. Our vocation is theater, so tuning into the times, our vocation becomes a theater of the revolution.
Politically, supposing you turn on one and turn off violently 10, aren't you then further behind than when you started?
But that 16-year-old gawky kid may be Mahatma Gandhi. He may be the one that's going to show us all how to really do it, that may have the clues and the answers that we're looking for. And it could be anyone in the audience. And the influence of one man is, that's, I think, one of the important ideas that we want to bring to the people in the streets, is that an individual is not powerless.
What do you want? To stop destroying the mind of the people! We want to be free! We want to be free! We want to be free! We want to be free!
The abstract expressionist movement in New York in the 1940s. I have the feeling that for a long time expressionist art was looked at less profoundly than it is being looked at now. And I think it is being looked at now because there is a revival of political awareness and, again, an awareness of the anguish that everyone must feel in this tormented world. We understand expressionism as an attempt to express what one feels inside. The angst, the anguish, the schrei, the cry, the ich, the I. We came back to it with Ernst Toller's Massenmensch. This play, written in jail following the failed revolution in Bavaria. While he was in jail, he wrote several plays, including this. It is a play which is in 7 pictures, he calls them. And I think the word picture is very much a guide to what he wanted, of which 4 are presumably reality, though very much like dream pictures, and 3 are dreams.
Cachez! Ce soir, c'est lune!
Oh, condamné! On ne peut jamais nier la dernière prière. Vous êtes tous invités à la dernière danse.
When we met, it was very clear that we were both interested in the theater. And I met Judith essentially at an actors' club, a place called Genius Incorporated at that time in the St. James Hotel on West 45th or 46th Street, West 45th Street, I think. Through a mutual friend,
playwright by the name of William Marchand. He wrote a thing called The Desk Set, and later a memoir on Noel Coward. And
I
he
had
said,
just, all I did was buy him a meal at the automat. I was standing in the doorway of this actors club eating a piece of chocolate, and Will Marchand, walked up to me and said, I'm so hungry, will you give me some? And I said, for heaven's sakes, here's the automat. And we went in, and I had a whole $1. And he was impressed. I certainly threw my bread upon the waters. He said, I must call a friend of mine who I know will be a person that will be the most important person in your life. Wait here, have you got a nickel? I believe I paid for that phone call.
Very likely. Yes. We spent the night together until early dawn.
Words, but words are all I have.
Correct.
To take your heart away. When Julian and I began to work together on the creation of this theater, even before it had a name, we felt that breaking into the form was the first step. We were already politically committed, but we knew that that had to come first, that there had to be a language in which you could speak in order to make any useful content.
Tutti sono a posto e il tempo davvero viene. The places. I said 1 minute, but it's really places.
Tell them places.
Places.
Not them.
Arrêtez! La bataille vous fait perdre l'esprit. Je saisis votre bras. La masse doit être amour entre le peuple. La masse doit être communauté. Communauté, non pas vengeance. Moi qui ai été tué, son légitime défense, fureur aveugle, non pas aide à la cause. Vous tuez des êtres humains, mais de cette façon, vous ne prendrez pas l'État que vous combattez. J'étais prête à faire taire mes sentiments pour le bien de la race. Je vous prie, détruisez le système. Mais toi, tu veux détruire les hommes. Je ne peux plus me taire. Je ne peux plus. Ces otages dehors sont aussi des êtres humains, à jamais frères.
Pour la dernière fois, silence, camarades! Violence! Eux non plus ne nous épargnent pas! N'écoutez pas cette femme!
Je vous crie, arrêtez! Et qui es-tu? Qui es-tu? Assassin ou rédempteur? Assassin ou rédempteur? Oh, son nom, son visage, tu es! Détruisez la haine, détruisez la vengeance. La vengeance n'est pas élan novateur. La vengeance n'est pas changement. La vengeance est une arche qui tue. Le pur ardent, l'inébranlable élan vers la révolution.
Violence, and not only violence, but people's unpreparedness to understand a commitment to nonviolence destroys the revolution and turns the revolutionary impulse into a bloodbath. Toller had come through a period very much like the period that we came through very recently, in which there was an enormous spurt of revolutionary fervor, in which there was an energy that made us feel that we could, within a very short period, certainly before 1980, change our entire form of structuring our lives in the world, how we eat, how we live together, how we work, how we supply our needs, how we educate ourselves and our children. We thought we were going to change everything.
Ils reviennent à Paris avec toute la troupe du Living. Nous leur devons beaucoup à ces deux-là. Je ne vais pas vous faire l'historique de ce qu'ils ont fait depuis les années 50 à New York, en Europe, dans leur quête, dans leurs errances, dans leur fuite à travers le monde. Julian, Beck.
But complacency is hard to shake. We thought it only made of porcelain,
a delicate and superficial coating covering the mouth and eyes of a river. It is a bridge, complacent. It has molecules. Though unseen, they move back and forth from the kitchen to the captain's table, carrying supplies. A century ago, Thoreau shook it a little. One after another, some shake it a little. We write poems about passion and prison to shake it. We scramble language with unthinkable flings and penetrating hips to shake it. And still the bridge does not fall. I proclaim the cliffs of beauty set against the famous sea of sodomy to shake it. Prenderlo nel culo è una cosa bellissima.
See the Shekinah by my side. She is the wandering exile's bride. I have no house, I have no home. I park my shoes inside my home. I am afraid.
Personally, I couldn't make a daytime work schedule. I like my hours the way they are, but that don't make me no better, man. Nah.
When Jack Gelber brought us the script of The Connection, we were immediately turned on by it because, as I remembered, it was within 24 hours that we were sure that we were going to do this play. I looked at it, I read it, I gave it to Judith with great excitement. I don't know whether I said to her, "This is the next play we're going to do,"
I think you did. I think you did.
She read it and she said yes. And one of the things about it that was among many, many things about it that were attractive to us was the fact that it implied that at last there was a text which would make it possible to at once be real on the stage without feigning realism, without reaching into all of the falsifications of a superficial psychology in order to create a character.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know. Yeah. Do you know we're living in a white society?
We learned a lot at that time from the jazz musicians. We learned a lot about acting, true performing that came from a whole other discipline, a whole other kind of behavior in front of the public.
lives up to 100 years. Unless someone buys it.
That's a money-making idea.
Yes.
Because everyone has a family. Now, which way is Bakunin's grave? It should be near here.
Yes, it should be near here.
Michael. Ah! Stop. Rappelez-vous de celui qui sacrifia pour la liberté de son père, de tous. Surely of all the countries.
It's good a stone like that.
But it's not right.
But it's not right.
Because he's... Remember him who sacrificed all for the liberty of his country. But that's not true. He sacrificed all for the liberty of all countries. But they never understood. Should we put this down over here?
Yes, I think. So here we are, at the tomb of the man who sacrificed everything for the liberty of all countries.
2 pairs of glasses on. Take one off. Oh, you're going to read.
And I think it would be good for us, Judith, to initiate this ceremony by breaking the law.
Breaking the law. I have something for that.
The big question is what to resist, how to resist.
Like the difference between what is and what has been dreamed.
And we always dreamed of reconciliation.
We do a play now about the resistance because the time is ripe to reconsider what the resistance of history was in terms of how can we resist today. The historical resistance had a very clear definition of an enemy. There were the Nazis and there were the good guys. We're the good guys and they are the bad guys. Now it's much more complicated.
The German soldier who found us told us that we were under arrest, but that they would not kill us because we had let their wounded live and freed our prisoners. We were ordered to load our wounded onto sledges to be taken to Genoa. We set off in the direction of the Valtravia.
Consumption fees! Driver's license fees!
of course, resistance in Lebanon, we asked the question, is there any enemy anymore? And of course, everyone out there in the audience says, yes, yes, there are lots of enemies. Sometimes in Italy, people will say, well, I don't know. But here, there is immediately a very clear, yes, there is a lot of enemies. And they don't know as though there would ever be a world without enemies.
The rich men? No, they're not the problem. The structure that we believe in that supports the rich men, yes, but that's not the problem. The problem is to look for a life that is free of this enemy, but the enemy is like a cloud, like a nuvole. You can't touch it. Where is it?
A military truck with 25 bersaglieri from the barracks in Novi arrived unexpectedly at the barricade near the restaurant at Pertuso.
The stones signify many things. They signify strength. They signify the heavy weight of oppression. They signify a certain hope. So the stones are both good and bad. Of course, the stones are not human. The stones are inanimate, but we can focus on the stones many of our ideas.
At first, they are in a black bag. We have stones that are hidden, and they become an oppression. They become a symbol of the oppressor. They become a symbol of the suffering of the oppression. But then we take them out of the bag, and they glow. And that is the desire for liberty that overcomes the darkness and that finally creates the path that we go out into a new kind of music and a new kind of world. The women have always been oppressed. And in some way, the women in the resistance are a symbol of women everywhere. And when we do a long scene in which we just name one woman after another, who are actual people, who are actually in the struggle. And then we remember that when we think of the resistance, we think of the men, we think of the macho, we think of the guys, we think of the fellows. We forget the women, and the women were always there and always essential to the struggle.
Remember,
Gisella Ageno,
Angela Avanzino,
Giuseppina Ananassa, Chiara Vebor. Of the battle, only a memory remains.
conflict. Resistance as an affirmation of your position.
Viva la resistance.